Heyo everybody, Haku here with this week's read-through for Magical Girl Raising Project, or Mahou Shoujo Ikusei Keikaku, and we are starting episodes 5 with the goggles and the turtle. So they're actually in alphabetical order on the drive, but a different order when I look at the wiki. So I'm going by the order on the wiki because I'm pretty sure that's probably the order they appear in the book itself. Not that I think the order particularly matters, because I don't think it did in the first episodes. But just know that I'm not going in alphabetical order, I'm going in the order listed on the wiki. So we're starting off with the goggles and the turtle as our first story in episodes 5. And for some reason I always kept calling it episode Sigma. I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm super excited. I am so super excited. I've been waiting for more side stories like this, so yeah, just to get more from our characters that we didn't get to see too much of in Limited or in Jokers or in Aces recently. But yeah, let's get started with the goggles and the turtle. Also on the drive, I see at the beginning of the chapter it says the chapter is currently undergoing revision for errors. Please be aware. So just know that the translation probably isn't totally 100% perfect for these, but either way, yeah, let's read, see what we got going on. The goggles and the turtle. This story set immediately after Magical Girl Raising Project Limited. Alright. A magical girl's body is robust, while a mage's physical strength and healing power is the same as a human's. However, mages can cast magic to heal and cure their injuries, so normally mages don't need to go to a hospital. Does that mean mages don't need hospitals at all? Well, no, there are times when a mage would prefer to use a hospital instead of using magic spells. If a mage actually wanted to cure the common cold with a magic spell, they'd need to buy a chicken, cut off its head, and cast a spell using it. Much easier to go to a hospital. Also, there are other reasons to go to a hospital. Poisons and magical effects need to be cured via a specialized hospital. You can never be too careful with magic, thus a hospital is still needed for mages. After the Bee City incident, Mana was taken to the hospital immediately. The recoil of overdosing with healing medicine had a huge effect on her body. Humans were never meant to have a magical girl's capabilities, and after sustaining her body, it popped like a bubble, unable to take the enormous energy it exerted. Nanako-san hugged Mana as soon as she woke up from her huge battle. She was mentally and physically exhausted, unable to think of anything else but Mana. Her goggles had a message appearing on them. Get Mana to a hospital fast, she's dying. But Nanako-san couldn't move her body. She was too busy crying at the thought of not being able to see Mana again. Even when the ambulances finally arrived, Nanako-san couldn't move. They took Mana to the hospital and helped Nanako-san and Tepsukeme get resettled away. In contrast, her new roommate Tepsukeme didn't cry. Although she couldn't express any emotions, she was still extremely sad. Nanako-san knew this through the use of her goggles, which she can use to tell Mei's current mood and feelings. After the incident, Tepsukeme began trying to learn as much as she could. She read picture books and children's literature, learning the alphabet and understanding how languages worked. Eventually, she began to understand words and sentences and how to properly form them. She can even read basic sentences as well. The town was in ruins. There were so many civilian deaths, so many lives ruined. It's hard to believe that this was actually the best outcome. If they hadn't stopped Pukin and Rainbow, even more would have been destroyed. Nanako-san had a conversation with her mentor. What did they do about the kill switch plan? They denied it as a rumor. What? Just a rumor? But they were going to use it. I know. But with the way things went, if they had confirmed those rumors, it would have made the Foreign Affairs Division look horrible. That makes sense. Nanako-san, I know you decided to stay when I asked you to save yourself. Relax, I'm not blaming you. You're not going to be punished. You did what you had to do, and the city was saved as a result. You've done all you can. Go get some rest. You deserve it. Nanako-san thought back on those words. You've done all you can. It wasn't enough. Wedden is dead. Kurukuru-hime is dead. Funny Trick is dead. Countless other... And again, this is like being reminded of Limited, because I'm like, well really, none of them should have died in the story. So, it's just reminding me of the disappointments of Limited. Countless of the students had died. Countless more innocents had died. Her best wasn't enough. She couldn't save anyone. The unsung heroes, the Namiyama magical girls, brought into this situation with no clue of the land of magic, no clue of the inner politics, no notion of anything beyond the barrier. Yet, they did better than anyone could have asked for. When Nanako-san scanned their powers with her goggles, she didn't just scan their full potential as magical girls. She saw through everything they knew. She saw all their experiences, all that mattered to them, their hopes, their joys, their fears, their reasons for fighting, their willingness. Her goggles gave her factual information, and as a result she could see everything they thought about as they decided to help in the final battle. But what hurt her the most was when she saw the level of trust they placed on Nanako-san. They trusted her completely, even though Nanako-san had been keeping secrets and lying to a lot of people throughout the incident. They were true magical girls, yet they were the ones who died, and someone like Nanako-san was the one who survived instead. After recovering from the incident, Nanako-san found Tepsukeme's lamp that she left in the battlefield somewhere in town. She received a message from her mentor as well. Nanako-san, if you could, please take care of Tepsukeme. She shouldn't be a bother if you have her lamp. She'll probably need food, some books, and a place to stay. Animal magical girls were a rare breed. Nanako-san had scouted over 500 magical girls, and out of them only 3 were animals. In most cases, they were quite blunt. They tend to act on instinct, and they express their emotions extremely and straightforwardly. Their allegiances are always clear as well, rarely backstabbing those they're loyal to. Tepsukeme, though, is unique even among animal magical girls. She rarely shows emotions, is even calmer than most human magical girls, and perhaps quiet, too. It's natural, of course, as she's a turtle. After moving in with Nanako-san, Tepsukeme often got out to the gardens, dug holes, and stared at the sky while flying. She had no care in the world, and that worried Nanako-san. May, could you please try and be careful when you go out? What do you mean? Can you try not to make yourself visible? May likes being visible. I know, but the neighbors, they're not magical girls, and seeing a flying genie probably isn't a good idea. And so, Tepsukeme always assimilated herself with the wind, and went out invisible whenever she got out of the house. This isn't the only time Tepsukeme does this, as she took the meaning of what's mine is yours a bit too literally. This is May's house, so May can do what May wants. No, May, this is my house, you're my roommate. We're sleeping together, so this is May's house. Wait, how did you even know that word? May learned it on TV. Why did she have to use sleeping together? Maybe she was a male turtle before transformation. The thought scared her. Nanako-san decided that ignorance is bliss and didn't bother checking with her goggles. Day in and day out. Nanako-san, please protect Tepsukeme. Please don't let anything bad happen to her. Day in and day out, Nanako-san always had to care for Tepsukeme. Her annex often made her day busy, and actually, that's pretty good for her too. Whenever things are quiet, Nanako-san would feel very depressed, still thinking about the event from before. They had to work together with Pithy, who was the worst of the worst. It was required because they needed to defeat an even stronger enemy, Pukin. Hana, who fought Pukin even until she died, Mapam, who rescued Hana and risked her life, Ripple, who went to Malpam and never returned, Wedden, the girl who just wanted to be a magical girl, Funny Trick, who crawled while she was dying and still attacked Pukin even as her injuries pained her, Kurukuruhime, who willingly became a decoy so that Pukin would be defeated. Magical girls have stronger mental strength than human forms. This is true for their hearts or any part of their body. Nanako-san remained as a magical girl inside her house. This is because if she transformed into a human, she'd be mentally exhausted, unable to sleep from being one of the few survivors of the massacre. Sorry, my voice. If she became human again, she would shrink back into alcoholism to relieve the pain, and then her body would be destroyed. At times she thought about it, but then she saw Tepsukeme and decided to keep going, despite how painful it can be. 3 weeks had passed since the Beast City incident. Her mentor had contacted her again. Good news, Mana's recovering well. If you'd like, you could go visit her. I've got the hospital address sent to your goggles. I asked Mana's father, and he said it'd be fine for someone to go visit her. She won't say it, but she longs for visitors. I'm still trying to deal with the chaos in the land of magic, but you should go see her. A visit would be nice. Nanako-san wanted to see Mana again, but she also felt guilty for getting Mana into this situation, for lying to her. Nanako-san is visiting Mana. May wants to visit too. Mei's eagerness convinced Nanako-san to give Mana a visit. Nanako-san made Tepsukeme promise to stay in her lamp at all times, to keep her head still and not attract attention. Tepsukeme nodded, and after finding a way to hide her hair, Nanako-san, still in magical girl form, went to the hospital. She placed the lamp inside her bag, and Tepsukeme went inside of it. Occasionally, Tepsukeme's head began to seep through the lamp and out of her bag. "I told you to keep your head down, Mei, but Mei wants to see outside. People are going to be freaked out. Just hang in there, okay?" Tepsukeme nodded and went back inside. The air was cold. It's about to be winter, and the trees are starting to dry up. Yet, everyone's having fun and walking around. Nanako-san found a nice flower shop. She brought a bouquet of pink cymbidium flowers decorated with some ribbons. She also brought chocolate mousses, the most expensive ones too, only the best for Mana. "Mei smells something delicious. I told you not to pop your head out. Sorry." Nanako-san bought a cheesecake and stuffed it into her bag. Tepsukeme eagerly chewed on that cheesecake and didn't make another sound again. Magical girls don't need to eat, but Tepsukeme was munching all this food. Maybe it was her animal instincts kicking in. Finally, they arrived at the hospital. It was pure white and clean, with no stains at all on the— never mind, if you look closely you see bird poop everywhere. Nevertheless, this hospital was one of the Land of Magic sanctioned hospitals. They have all the necessary equipment for removing magical poisoning from a mage. Of course, the hospital accepts normal patients too. In fact, most of the patients here are human. Mei doesn't like this smell. Nobody likes hospital smell, Mei. Patience, okay? Nanako-san entered the lounge. It was a big room with only a few people there. A large mirror was on the wall. Nanako-san stopped in front of the mirror. Tepsukeme popped out. "Pee? What? No, why would I pee in the lounge?" Tepsukeme shrugged and went back in the bag. Nanako-san looked at herself in the mirror. It reflected her completely. Her heart felt sad, but she can't make that feeling go away. She put on her goggles and set it to detect the level of sadness, then pain, then loneliness. However, no data came out. That's because she's only looking at a mirror. It only reflected an image of Nanako-san, not Nanako-san herself, so scanning herself was near impossible. That's what's bothering her. She knew everything about everyone else, but she's so confused about what she's feeling right now. Nanako-san had waited for quite some time. Finally, visiting hours were available. She went straight toward Mana's room. At first she was walking fine, but then her palms began to sweat. She became nervous. What did Mana think of all this? What did Mana think of the incident? Was she going to get scolded by Mana? She was prepared to accept the worst. I love this so far. I love Mei and getting to see into Nanako-san's story as a character here. It's so good. But now to check in with you, we're on page 9. Nanako-san took off her goggles, placing them in her bag. She didn't want to wear goggles when she was in Mana's room. It was probably rude. She knocked on the door. "Come in," a voice said from inside. The room was filled with colorful magical squares on the ceiling, walls, and floor. There was also an LCD TV. Magical squares. Either way, there was also an LCD TV, a fridge, a sofa, and a bed. On the bed was a sickly-looking girl, Mana. Nanako-san could barely recognize her since she was so out of shape. "Oh, it's you," said Mana. Her voice was cracked and she was sniffling. Her face and eyes were red. "You okay?" asked Nanako-san. "I mean, I'm in a hospital, so who knows," said Mana. Nanako-san stood beside the window. She was glad that she wasn't being scolded by Mana, but at the same time she felt sorry for her. "Find a seat if you want. Make yourself at home," said Mana. "Can Mei go out?" asked Mei from inside Nanako-san's bag. "Huh? Oh yeah, sure." Tepsukeme got out, Nanako-san's goggles on her head. Mana's face freaked out. "What's she doing? Hey, put those goggles away." Nanako-san panicked and quickly removed the goggles from Tepsukeme's head. "Are you going to beat up Mana?" asked Tepsukeme. "What? No, why?" asked Nanako-san. You said we're visiting to take care of her." "We are visiting to take care of her." Tepsukeme's head tilted in confusion. "Doesn't taking care mean beating up?" "No, it means to care for a person. Where'd you even get that from?" "Television." "Mei, I think you're watching the wrong kinds of dramas." "Oh, I almost forgot. I've got presents, Mana." Nanako-san took out the bouquet and food that she brought earlier. "Mind if I put it in here?" asked Nanako-san, as she placed the flowers in a vase near Mana. Mana simply nodded. She hadn't noticed it before, but it seemed like the way this room was decorated, that it was a VIP room of some sort. Makes sense. Mana was pretty high up in the examination division. Nanako-san looked out the window. It's almost Christmas soon. Can't believe it's been a month. Mana glanced from her bed. Her hair was in shambles. Gone are her trademark curly swirls on the side. She looked like she hadn't seen sunlight in a long time. How are you lately? Asked Mana weakly. I'm okay. I should be asking you that question, though. Well, like I said, I'm in a hospital. Hey, by the way, when this is all over, mind if I talk to your boss? Yeah, she said she's busy cleaning up some stuff. Alright, I'm gonna try and piece together what I can once I recover. Mana ate some of the mousse. With every bite, it seemed like her face began to become redder and redder. Hey, Nanako-san? Okay, so this is another thing that me and a bunch of other people brought up too, is that a good reason Wedden could have survived is Wedden would have been a very, very good rival to Flea, figuring out that Flea was behind all this stuff. It seems like Mana's going to probably be doing some of that, but Wedden would have really, really made sense. But either way, hey Nanako-san. Yeah? Remember when I said I wanted to talk to your boss? You mean just a few seconds ago? Yes. Can I talk to her directly? Sure. Like in person. Okay, I can help you with that. Here perhaps. While I'm still recovering, maybe. As soon as you can. She's a bit busy, but I guess if you wanted to talk to her and it's urgent. Yes, very urgent. I need to investigate from all points of view. That's true. Hana always told me to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. She said that people do things for a reason, and to them the reason may be just, so I just want to know. That's fair. Also, I don't know how to say this. We won't judge, Mana. Okay. Mana took a deep breath, her face red with embarrassment. Nobody visits me. Nanako-san looked slightly startled by that statement. What are you talking about? We'll always visit you, Mana, said Nanako-san. Tepsukeme nodded as well. Yeah, you two, and my father. But that man always brings research and whatnot, and doesn't actually bring me anything else. I haven't changed from these hospital robes in weeks. At least bring me fresh clothes. Mana's lips began to tremble. Mana, hey, if you need us to... And really, couldn't he spend some time to actually talk to me too? And where's the rest of the examination division? I'm not trying to brag, but the least they could do is check up on me, you know? Nobody's come here in the last 3 weeks. That's all, the only one that's ever visited me before when I got sick was... Her eyes started tearing up. Mana, you okay? Asked Nanako-san nervously. Mana then began sobbing and crying. I've got no one else anymore. No one really loves an asshole like me. The only one that ever visited me was Hana, and she's gone now. Hana's gone. Sis. Nanako-san stood up from her chair and sat next to Mana. Hey, it's okay, we're here. Sis, I want my sister back. I miss my sister. Geez, trying not to cry here. Oof. Ugh, hold on, I'm trying not to cry. All the emotion she kept bottled in from the incident. 3 weeks of and now everything's getting blurry because of the tears in my eyes. Sorry. That's what, with these read-throughs, I have to try really, really hard not to cry, because if I do, not only will I not be able to control my voice to read, but also if I get all teary-eyed, I can't freaking see to read. Sorry, everything's getting all blurry. All the emotion she kept bottled in from the incident. 3 weeks of mourning and denial poured out of her eyes as she cried. Her crying became louder, and she began bawling like a baby. She immediately hugged Nanako-san tightly. Nobody loves me anymore. You'll come, right? I don't want to be alone. Nanako-san nervously hugged Mana. Yeah, it's okay. Hey, we're always going to be here, alright? Mana's crying became louder and louder. Then the door opened. What's going on here? Oh, this is so sad. We have Mana's crying in... Mana, best girl, why? Why do you have to hurt her like this? We have her crying in the illustration with Tepsukeme looking on while eating. Tepsukeme eating. And Nanako-san startled. Man, as much as I'm angry that, like, Kurukuruhime didn't have a reason to die, Wedden didn't have a reason to die, Funny Trick didn't have a reason to die, as much as I'm upset that they're not here, gosh, I love getting to see Mana and Nanako-san and Tepsukeme again. There was a bear at the door. Okay, there was a bear at the door. Wait, no, that's just a nurse that's the size of a bear. Do I smell alcohol? Asked the nurse. Alcohol? No, we didn't have any alcohol in here, said Nanako-san. The nurse looked at the chocolate mousse and sniffed it. She glared at Nanako-san. This is alcohol. There's traces of alcohol in the food. It's probably harder to smell due to the disinfectant, but this is alcohol. I didn't know, said Nanako-san sheepishly. Mana looked at Nanako-san with anger. You spiked my food, you assholes. I thought you said you loved me, and she cries even more. Mana, calm down. We didn't know, sorry, said Nanako-san sheepishly. The nurse shook her head. Alcohol wouldn't affect magical girls, but Mana's under severe magical poisoning. Her immune system's weak, and the alcohol has a higher effect on her. Please let us handle this. Sorry, Mana, sorry, said Nanako-san. Get out, I don't want to see your stupid faces again, except I do, so don't leave. Leave forever, just, The nurse tightly hugged Mana. Alright, alright, calm down. Now, you two, leave. Nanako-san nodded and dragged Tepsukeme out. Calm down now, you two, leave. Nanako-san nodded and dragged Tepsukeme outside the room. Well, that was unexpected, said Nanako-san. She honestly didn't know that there were alcoholic traces in the mousse. Tepsukeme glanced at Nanako-san. Nanako-san, why did Mana have small red things? Huh? When Mei put on goggles, she had small red things when we came in. She had lots of them before that. Oh, the hearts, they detect things about people. Mei is worried. Nanako-san took out her goggles and checked the status. It was detecting loneliness. Oh, because, yes, she was flipping through those settings before in the mirror. When Nanako-san and Tepsukeme came in, it must have shrank to nothing. That made Nanako-san happy. Hey, Mei, let's go back inside. Mana might kick us out again, but I think she'd appreciate us being there. Tepsukeme nodded and went back inside her lamp. Her head slowly popped out as well. You know, Mana's a lot more open when she's drunk, said Nanako-san. Yes, she is, replied Mei. Let's try and cheer her up, okay? Losing something you love isn't easy. Mei would be sad if Mei lost her lamp. That lamp? Yes, Grace gave it to Mei. Oh, my heart! Grace. Captain Grace. She's like Wedden. She has friends. She gave Mei the lamp. Mei misses her. Oh, why Mei gonna make me cry here? I didn't even like Captain Grace, but the fact that Mei lost her friends. And the fact that Mei was the turtle in the classroom watching them all as friends growing up and stuff. Oh, it's so sad. Nanako-san didn't really know Captain Grace, but it must have been one of the Namiyama high school kids. Nanako-san nodded and nervously gripped the door. Today, she's gonna be there for Mana. Nanako-san confidently turned the doorknob. That was so good. I almost cried multiple times. That was amazing. I'm so happy to be back in episodes because I loved the first episode's volume. That was so good. And I mean, I guess technically I did kind of cry. I don't know. Very heavily teared up. I loved Mana though all throughout Limited. So it's amazing seeing Mana again. I can't wait to see more. At the same time, I want to see more, but I don't want to because that means they'll be in danger. I don't want Nanako-san to be in danger. Tepsukeme better not be in danger. Keep Tepsukeme far away from everything, like Clantail. Just leave her away from everything. It'd be cool if Clantail got to be involved in one of these episodes. But again, Clantail, Tepsukeme, keep them far from everything. Just protect them. Let them live their lives. So yeah, it's like I'm torn between wanting to see these characters more and being scared to see them more because I'm like, if we see them more, they might die. That was so good though. So I enjoyed this, our first read through for episodes 5. I'll be back next week with the next one. Like I said last week, I was considering taking a week off between arcs, but I was just too excited to get into episodes, so I didn't. So at some point, sometime, maybe around the holidays, I might take a week off from Magical Girl Raising Project, just because with holidays and going to see family and stuff, there might be multiple times when I have to take a break from multiple things on the channel. So at least for right now, I'm gonna not take a break so that you can have stuff weekly until I decide to eventually take a break someday. But even then, if I record some of these ahead of time, I might not even have to take a break. I would love to have... See, that's one thing I've always said. I would just love to have time to record stuff ahead of time and just post it when I need to post it, instead of trying to record and post as quickly as I possibly can. But yeah, at least for now, I'm just happy with being able to read and do stuff week to week. And this is kind of a shady transition, but if you want me to help be able to afford to continue to do this week to week, then helping out on Patreon would help. Don't worry if you can't, but any amount does help. Any amount is amazing. But it's patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. But either way, like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts and reaction. I loved it. Subscribe for more Magical Girl Raising Project, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated on stuff for the channel and talk to you there. And if you'd like a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us on Discord, then just ask and I can give you a link. It's free and open for anyone. And like I said, I already mentioned the Patreon stuff. But also, if you know any other Magical Girl Raising Project fans and want to share the channel around, that'd be amazing too. Just because it is sort of like, I feel like it's a bit of a niche fandom, but it is also larger than expected, and it's a really great fandom, like one of the best ones I've had the privilege of being part of because of the channel. So yeah, I'd just love to talk to more and more people about the series. And also to try to give the series more exposure so that more people will try the series out. I'm always preaching series like this to try to get more people to try it out. But yeah, either way, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.